What's up, everybody? Welcome to the last video for my mental health series. Now, just because it's the end of Mental Health Awareness Month, that doesn't mean to stop spreading awareness about mental health issues. You could do that anytime you want to. You guys can always look back at the videos that I did this month and get a little something out of them. I would like to thank the few people that has watched every single video. I really appreciate it. I appreciate the person that kept disliking my videos on YouTube without even giving me a clue of what I did wrong. And I just simply appreciate everybody that has watched. I have successfully completed something because normally I suck at staying consistent even with the things that I want to do. So, again, thank you. Let's get to the topic. Today's video will be about self-care once again. In my last video, I talked about self-care in toxic relationships and friendships and how we can practice it, whether it's dealing with the aftermath of ending them or dealing with them and trying to fix them. I wanted to make two videos because first, I had no idea what else to talk about. And second, I felt like talking about toxic relationships and friendships could just fit into one video while I talk about self-care in different aspects in another video. With that being said, today, instead of talking about self-care while dealing with toxic relationships and friendships, I want to talk about how you can practice self-care while supporting your friends, family, or partner that is dealing with mental health issues. You might have family, friends, or partner that suffer from mental health issues, and when it comes to trying to be there for them, it can get very frustrating to the point that it affects your own mental health. So I kind of just want to talk about that today, and I also want to talk about why self-care is very important, and I'll talk about some of the things that I do when I have a really bad day. Let's talk for a short moment about how we can practice self-care while supporting family, friends, or partner that suffer from mental health disorders. Find balance. Make time for yourself to recharge because you can't constantly help your friends without possibly getting compassion fatigue. So to try your best from getting that way, continue to make time for yourself doing the things you love. Don't neglect your own needs. Set some boundaries. Know your limits. It's better to know what you can handle before it's too late and now you're burnt out. Like I said before, it affects your mental health being there for your friend or family member or partner because it hurts to know that they're in a really bad state of mind and sometimes it can be too much to handle. So know your limits. Lastly, if you're not the only person that is able to be there for them, reach out to someone else that they know so you won't be the only person helping. If you're feeling overwhelmed yourself, you need to talk to someone because you need that support yourself. Take care of yourself while being there for others. With that being said, let's talk about why self-care is important for a little bit. I know we kind of just jumped in with the whole self-care thing, but now let's talk about why it's important that we practice it in our everyday lives. It's important because your physical and mental health comes first, and to be able to stay physically and mentally well, you have to take care of yourself. A lot of us don't take care of ourselves like we should, and that's why we're so tense and you're more likely to have mental health problems. A lot of us let things that aren't even in our control stress us out. We don't make enough time for ourselves. Funny how that works. And we either get too much or too little sleep. While we're on the topic of sleep, I want to talk about sleep for a minute since it pertains to self-care. I know for a fact all of us are guilty of not getting the right sleep, and that's pretty much the number one thing that is needed to get that boost for the next day. Sleep deprivation can take a serious impact on our physical and emotional health. So a lot of us need to stop lacking, including me. As I mentioned in one of my other videos, as a college student, my sleep be off. I always take naps during the day because I was always tired from getting up early in the morning. Shoot, I still be taking naps now. Even if I do manage to get the hours that I need, sometimes I still be feeling extremely tired. That tells me that 9 times out of 10, I'm doing something wrong. But a lot of us aren't getting the sleep that we need, and that's the most productive thing that we can do to ensure good health. Let's talk about stress for a minute. Stress can be good for some, but for a lot of us, it can be very bad. We don't handle it well. When I'm stressed, I tend to take it out on others or I simply isolate myself. I eat a lot at the moments when I'm not even hungry. I sleep even more. I know this resonates with others because this is how a lot of people manage their stress, by the unhealthiest ways. Stress can really affect you, and it could definitely create bigger problems if you're not managing it the right way. The bigger problems I'm talking about is the manifestation of mental health disorders. Things that you love doing becomes a burden to you. This is why self-care is important. Don't let yourself get stressed out to the point where you're honestly just unhappy even with the things you do love. Don't let money or anything become so important that you neglect your own health. You need to be able to be here to collect your profit or at least still be sane. Take a break from college if it has gotten so hard to the point where you're unhappy with being a college student and you're constantly questioning, why the heck did I even go to college? Now, I'm not encouraging anyone to quit from their job or drop out if they don't want to, but put yourself first before anything. Also, just do what makes you happy. There are going to be some hard decisions that you'll have to make to grant some kind of happiness, but it's worth it. There's some people that you're going to have to let go for your own sanity and peace, but it's worth it. Your happiness is way more important than anything else. It's definitely easier to be said than done because it's a process that I have to still work on myself. I've been really big this year on doing things that make me happy and less stressed. And I actually have already done some things that I felt would lift up my shoulders a little bit, a little tenseness. To wrap up this video, I kind of want to share some of the things that I do to practice self-care while I'm not necessarily having the best day ever. I love taking a nice long bath. It's really soothing and I have time to myself in the most private way. The water is cleansing my mind from everything, and sometimes I'll get right back in the mood after a nice relaxing bath. I don't feel so tense no more. I love sitting by the Detroit River. I would do this a lot when I would be on campus since Midtown isn't far from downtown Detroit. I could just hop on the bus, be on there for about maybe 10 to 15 minutes and then just go to the river and watch the water until I was ready to leave. Just watching it gave me some kind of peace within myself. If I don't want to talk to my friends or can't, I could just go to the river. Music. Music is good for the soul. It can bring out every emotion that you feel. I love just sitting there and listening to music when I'm not in a good headspace. It definitely calms me down and lifts my mood back up easily, especially when my favorite song come on. Now, when Leave the Door Open come on, I can't help but to sing along. I'ma leave the door open. My photography. There was a point in time where my mental health had gotten bad to the point where my photography was becoming a burden to me. The one thing I love to do the most, I felt forced to do. When I started getting back to the right state of mind, I started to figure out ways to better handle bad days, and that was one of them. I use my photography for my advantage. Writing. I have a little journal that I write my little thoughts in if I'm not willing to necessarily talk about them. It still helps me to get it out of my system, whether it's just affirmations or I'm just basically venting to myself. Writing about your emotions is very therapeutic. And lastly, hanging out with my friends or my boyfriend. Yeah, I got a little boyfriend. What can go wrong with getting out the house and surrounding yourself around your good friends or your partner? The fun that I have with my friends or my boyfriend will take everything off my mind. Like, there is never a dull moment with them. It just gives me a break from dwelling on my thoughts at home. So, today I kind of talked about a few things that we can do to practice self-care while supporting friends, family, or a partner that suffer from mental health issues, such as still making time for yourself, setting boundaries, and reaching out for someone else's help. I also talked about why self-care is important, a little bit about sleep, stress, and how we should put our happiness first. Lastly, I shared some of the things that I do to practice self-care while having a bad day, such as taking a nice long bath, sitting by the Detroit River, listening to music, my photography, writing, and hanging out with my friends or my boyfriend. Remember, guys, do things that make you happy and take care of yourself. And that is a wrap. I hope everyone that has watched my series enjoyed the series as I talked about the stigma of mental health, what not to say to people that have mental health disorders, myths about bipolar disorders, mental health issues in college students, mental health issues in the Black community, suicide, addiction, and self-care. I felt like these were all very important to talk about, and we definitely need to talk about it a lot more. Like I said before, y'all can always look at these videos and share them with others to bring awareness. That's really all I have to say. Thanks for tuning in to Trenier's Mental Health Series. Be kind, stay safe, love each other, peace.